Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. Someone in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, tell my brother to share the inheritance with me." He replied to him, "Friend, who appointed me as your judge and arbiter?" Then he said to the crowd, "Take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions." Then he told them a parable. There was a rich man whose land produced a bountiful harvest. He asked himself, "What shall I do? For I do not have space to store my harvest." And he said, "This is what I shall do. I shall tear down my barns and build larger ones. There I shall store all my grain and other goods. And I shall say to myself, 'Now as for you, you have so many good things stored up for many years. Rest, eat, drink, be merry.' But God said to him, 'You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus it will be for all who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God.'" The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
As I've been reflecting on these readings for this weekend, they're challenging ones, aren't they? Kind of strong words from the Scriptures. In our first reading from Ecclesiastes, all things are vanity. For what profit comes from man from all the toil and anxiety of heart with which he has labored under the sun? We got Paul's letter to the Colossians. Seek what is above, think of what is above, not what is of earth. And then Jesus in today's gospel, take care to guard against all greed, for though one may be rich, one's life does not consist of possessions. As the kids these days would say, he's standing on business for real. That's Gen X language, or Gen Z. I don't know. I don't think I said it in the right way. Oh well. The question that I feel like these readings have been drawing to me is the question of, does it have eternal value? Does it have eternal value? I remember hearing that phrase in a very unlikely place. It was in the 1990s. A friend of mine's uncle was speaking at Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois, one of the premier business schools in the world. And the speaker was a man named Dennis Bakke. And Dennis, at the time, was the CEO of AES, Applied Energy Services, and he built energy plants all over the world, coal, nuclear, natural gas, and was just an absolute gazillionaire. And the students were so excited to have somebody like Dennis Bakke speak to them, because this is the person they wanted to be. They wanted to see what pearls of wisdom he would impute upon them so that they could begin kind of diving into the world and getting all those worldly millions for themselves. And after 90 minutes, the class erupted in applause for Dennis Bakke. But it was also shock in sometimes, because Dennis Bakke was a man who thought in eternal ways. And even at one point, I remember the shocked look on these students' face when Dennis said, before Christmas, my wife and I go on a 3-day retreat, and we pray and we discern how much money do we need to live on next year. And they come up with that number. And usually before the month of January was over, he had made that much money. And he plowed the rest of it into a small family foundation called the Mustard Seed Foundation, and began investing in eternal things. Those students were shocked. Dennis Bakke said, "Stewardship is not about tithing. I hate it when a pastor tells the congregation the church will hold a stewardship campaign to help construct or expand a new building for the church. That is about tithing. Stewardship, real stewardship, is what do we do with the 90% of God's money we keep? I need to ask myself, what am I doing with this money? This is what I mean when I talk about stewardship. Stewardship is admitting that everything we have is a gift from God. I am thankful and generous because I do not own any of these things in my life. All things, including the money I have, do not belong to me. The things in my life do not control me, therefore I can give them away with joy. That's what these readings today are getting at. How do we use our time, our talents, our abilities, our treasure for God? Does it have eternal value? You know, there's a very precious thing that all of us are losing right now, and it's time. Time is ticking by. Our family just returned from our summer week at the Apostolate for Family Consecration, also known as Catholic Family Land. The Perkins family were there as well. Give it up, Perkins. Yay. Hey, Gwen. Oh, hi, Jenny. How you doing? Jenny's kind of shy. Don't everybody look at Jenny. Nope, nobody look at Jenny. She's very shy. You know, and I've spoken about Catholic Family Land before. I know, cringiest name on the planet. Okay, it's not Jesus and the apostles on a roller coaster somewhere. That's not what it's about. It is, you know, this was, I think, our 8th or 9th year going, and it has been one of the preeminent things in the life of my family that I think have helped the faith of my children. It's a beautiful, you know, we send our kids on retreats, men and women. We might go on a men's retreat, a women's retreat. Hopefully the men don't go on the women's retreat and vice versa. We might, you know, go and do something, but rarely do you get a chance to do that together. And that's really what Catholic Family Land is. It's a spiritual retreat. It's a pilgrimage. You know, we have Mass every day. There's confession, there's adoration, and then there's pickleball and ultimate frisbee and all this wonderful activity. At 3 o'clock, there's announcements and bells ring. Everybody stops what they're doing. Kids get out of the pool and they sit on the edge of the pool. Anybody who's playing ultimate frisbee in the field, they sit down. The snack shop closes. The people playing, you know, sand beach volleyball sit down, and the whole community there prays the Divine Mercy Chaplet at 3 o'clock. And then they go back to the activity. And then as the sun's setting, you're praying with 1,000 people on a hillside, a rosary, and it's just beautiful. You know, the family time that we have is so incredibly precious. And I've said before, you know, Satan's not going to make any of us into really bad people. You know, none of us are going to be serial killers. None of us are going to be, you know, running up, you know, the flagpole or doing weird things or whatever. But you know what he's going to do? He's going to make us busy. And he's going to make our life filled with anxiety and stress and worry. And so much times, especially as families that have children and teens, and you know, your time is so precious. And you want to fill it with good things for your kids, but we have to ask that question: what we do with our time, does it have eternal value? My kids know we're going to spend a week at Catholic Family Land every summer. We might do another vacation, sure, but we're going to spend this time together because it has eternal value. What are you doing with your time? You know, there are so many mindless, mind-numbing things that we can invest our time in, but does it have eternal value? And now we have our second mission and ministry weekend. This is a time when we are recognizing some parish ministries as well as some outside missions. You know, this week we have our scouting program downstairs. We also have the Reach More mission training and Exodus 90. We also have Link Worldwide. Link Worldwide is a beautiful mission in Kenya, working with children at a school. It was started by a parishioner, Erin Regal, who's here. Erin, give it up. Come on, she and her cousin. All right, introvert's nightmare, isn't it? Huh? Everybody's looking at you. So Erin has a wonderful faith life, and the Lord led her to start up this beautiful mission in Kenya. So that's what we're doing during these mission and ministry weekends. We want to show people the different activities that this parish is doing, and also outside missions we encourage you to get involved in. Why are we doing this? Why are we spending this time? It's because we all have abilities and talents, and we can easily plow those into worthless, worldly things. but we can also give our talents to the Lord's work. And so this is opportunities for us to see what's going on in our parish and in the outside community. Now, your dance card might be full. You're like, look, Deacon John, I can't do anything more. I'm doing all this, blah, 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 blah. That's fine. Fantastic. That's great. But go down and learn what there is to offer here at this parish. Because you're going to be talking to that new family that moves into your neighborhood. And you're going to see that they got kids, ages 7 through 10. And you're going to tell them, you know what? Our parish has a great scouting program. Would love to introduce you to that. You're going to be interacting with somebody who wants to really grow as a man of faith, and he wants to grow as deeper in his life as a disciple. And you're going to say, you know what? Our parish has this great movement called Exodus 90. Let me introduce you to Dan Stratton, who can tell you all about it. Shout out, Dan. Here we go. Oh, come on. Okay, I'm shouting out to all the introverts in the parish. Okay. So, come down and learn about what we're doing. We all have talents to give to the Lord. He wants us on mission. Now, by the way, if you're a leader of a parish ministry and you want to have a table at one of these weekends, please email me, green@holyfamilystow.org. If you want to complain about the length of my homilies, you email rosing@holyfamily.org. Father Paul, when he was here, he got one. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say what I did. Okay, never mind. So, lastly, okay, what I said. All right. Well, so I said during a homily one time that I like cats when they're properly prepared and seasoned. And isn't that horrible? Father Paul got 3 angry phone calls. So, okay, never mind. All right. Lastly, we come to this question of treasure. So time, talent, treasure. When we're spending some coin on something, do we ask that question? Does it have eternal value? When we're thinking about our family budget, when we're thinking about what we're going to invest in, or renovations in our home, or even a new car, where we're going to go, the things that we're going to spend our money on, does it have eternal value? Remember what Dennis Bakke said, my friend's uncle? Stewardship is admitting that everything we have is a gift from God. Today, Dennis Bakke lives in the unforgiving fog of Alzheimer's. His mind is gone. Family members are unrecognizable. Communication with others happens through simple glances and facial movements. His mind and his body are decaying. Yet because he asked that simple question in his life, does it have eternal value? His legacy will live on long after he is gone from this earth. For 40 years, the Mustard Seed Foundation awarded over $110 million to 8,000 different Christian grassroots churches and organizations around the world. They started a scholarship program where they identified Christian teens who had the ability to be leaders in their field, whether it was mathematics or the arts or geography or political science, whatever it was. They invested in them, they mentored them, and they got them into Ivy League schools, 10,000 of these scholars. And over 100,000 people gained theological and faith formation through colleges that he invested in. Jesus in today's gospel is not mincing words with us. God said to him, "You fool, this night your life will be demanded of you, and the things you have prepared, to whom will they belong? Thus will it be for all who store up treasure for themselves, but are not rich in what matters to God." In living out your own stewardship of time, talent, and treasure, today's readings challenge us to ask that simple yet profound question: does it have eternal value?